Camp Kennerk podcast. This is a special episode. In true Camp Kennerk podcast fashion, we are celebrating our 100th podcast during our 101st podcast. That's just the way things go. Doug the neighbor and I, we try to keep things in line, but well, the word is try. But we want to, first of all, I want to reach out and thank everybody in the galaxy and our communities for listening to us and the comments that you send. And it's just been real pleasure to get to know everybody. So what I want to share with you is a couple of things about what happens when we started this podcast concept. And, first of all, Doug and I realized that we don't like to rehearse. We don't like scripts. So we don't have them. We just point blank don't have them. So what you hear is the same thing I hear from Doug and Doug hears from me. And of course, what I hear from you, the Galaxy community, we really appreciate it. So, first of all, Doug the neighbor and I worked very hard to make this look easy. And I know that sounds like, a composition of what the heck he's talking about, because that's the way we run. Now, we got some good news, and the good news is we never had a script. Bad news, we don't have a script. But that's okay, because we don't want facts to get in the way of a good story. We tell stories, and then all of a sudden, about 30 seconds later, we get messages for comments from everybody correcting us. And that's fine. You got your opinion and we got ours. But the main thing is, it's our story. We get to tell it the way we want to. And you get to enjoy it any manner you can. So just to walk down memory lane, let's think about some of the things that have happened over the last episodes. How about the college football seasons where we made up our own college football conference? Or all the stories about sports, baseball, minor leagues, where the dreams begin. But then we also have food, tacos. We had a great episode on tacos. We also had episodes covering things like, what were they really thinking? What were they really saying? Sort of like the letters we got from our cousin Sean in Tipperary Springs, Ireland. We get a lot of comments, people asking, is he real? And I say, if you think he's real, he's real. But, we talk about popcorn. And that's always been a fun subject to talk, because all the happy campers we talk to, that's one of the questions that's mandatory, and they have to answer it. They can't give us oh, I don't know, I don't need popcorn or whatever. And of course, we've had St. Patrick's Day, stories about, the Irish goodbye. Now that got some response. People had a definite opinion about that. And I could always tell whether they were Irish or not because of the comments they leave. So, none of the Irish people said, that's the rudest thing I ever saw. Well, all the Irish people go, thank God for Irish goodbyes. I'd never get home in a decent hour. So, it is what it is. We're glad you're here. We're going to have another one tonight. So, Doug the neighbor, tell me about those happy campers we've interviewed.
TK, so good to see you. This is our 101 podcast, 101 Dalmatians, so if you want to go that way. And we are going to celebrate our 100th podcast that we've done over the years. And it's been absolutely beautiful. And look what I got. I got $100 bill here. I got
Whoa, is it real?
Oh, I hope so.
Hey, go down to HEB and cash it and we'll find out.
I go to the 7-Eleven and get some more Dr. Pepper. You got your Dr. Pepper?
Got my Dr. Pepper right here, buddy.
Now, I want to correct your facts a little bit. We don't have a script, you're right, but we do have Post-it notes. We've got plenty of Post-it notes.
Well,
Okay, now, again, this is our 101 podcast, and I'd like to point out three people that are in the entertainment world who are 100 years old. 100 years old. Okay. First off, how about Mel Brooks, the great director and actor who did Blazing Saddles? Very, very funny guy, one of our heroes. And let's see, Spaceballs. He did
Mhm.
Spaceballs. Yeah, Spaceballs, which was, and he's done some other movies. What's interesting about Mel Brooks is his very first film, very first, when he was very young, starting, was a rather serious with a Jewish theme called 12 Chairs. And
I
it was,
remember that.
yeah, 12 Chairs about uh, a, a Jewish family in a what they call not a ghetto, a shtetl, which is like an area. And he's a carpenter or something, and he's looking for 12 chairs to find 12 chairs. So it wasn't really a outrageous Mel Brooks film. It was rather kind of serious with some humor.
Well, he had to start somewhere. I mean, he had to
Yeah,
work up the Blazing Saddles, which is my all-time favorite.
yeah,
Politically impolite,
yeah,
socially not acceptable, but
yeah.
man, people love watching it.
Yeah, and what was the other one he did that was really funny? The Thousand-Year-Old Man, no, the History of the
Yeah,
World one and
yeah.
two. Yeah, that was
Mhm.
pretty funny. But what's another interesting thing about Mel Brooks is he did 12 Chairs, and then he produced a film called The Elephant Man.
Mhm.
Remember that one? That was a
Yes.
very serious uh, film, and his wife Anne Bancroft was in it, but Mel Brooks produced it, and it was David Lynch's second film. So
Mhm.
Mel Brooks, when we think of the Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs and History of the World, he's a very funny guy. He's just a
Mhm.
very, very funny guy, but he also has a serious side that is shadowed by his comedic talents.
Mhm.
Now he's 100 years old. Now,
Yeah.
other person I'd like to bring forth is Dick Van Dyke, from the Dick Van Dyke Show and Mary Poppins and Supercalifragile California beer frozen in a lake, whatever, fantastic beer, whatever, super something, something. So, very talented man, still alive. He's 100 years old, and very, very funny guy.
Yeah.
Just a very funny guy. And the other person is Sir David Attenborough. Now, Sir David Attenborough is British, and his brother was Richard Attenborough, who directed Gandhi and a whole bunch of movies. But Sir David Attenborough is a naturalist. So all those nature films on TV where he narrates. Yeah, Sir David Attenborough. And to give you an example, we have Bambi walking through the forest,
Mhm.
unaware of the dangers that lurk when Jojo Bear eats Bambi.
Well, that falls right in line with the Gracie the giraffe here in
Yeah,
Texas broke loose and running around the countryside. They finally found her. They finally
yeah,
found
yeah,
her,
yeah,
and she's on her way back home. But you
yeah.
know, it's it's like you look out your window and you see a giraffe. You go, huh? Maybe I need to go back to bed. It's a bit too soon to wake up.
Absolutely true. But Sir David Attenborough is the voice behind all of the great nature films that we
Hmm.
watch, and he's still going. Now, yes, this is a celebration of our 100th podcast. Do you have your popcorn, you Dr. Pepper, and your popcorn? I've got my Cracker Box popcorn right here. I still have some. I'm down to the last here. And I have a billboard of where you can get this. Can we see this Cracker Box
Lift it up a
popcorn?
little bit. There we
Yeah,
go. Maxie.
307-335-7020. Talk to Maxine up there in Landers, Wyoming. We've always appreciated her and her products. And I believe that in Lander, Wyoming, they may or may not have a 4th of July fireworks celebration because of the dry weather.
Yes, and I hope that doesn't happen because that is something you need to put on your bucket list to see I mean, it lasts 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 360. It's all the way around you. All the communities all the way around are continually firing fireworks.
Well, maybe we can get some video of that for next week.
Yeah.
Excuse me, after the 4th. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, we have gotten to this point by our Texas charm and Irish stories. But we also got here with the help of our Happy Camper interviews. We've done 16 of them, 16
Yes.
people that we are very grateful for appearing on our show. And I'd like to chat a little bit about these 16 people, happy campers, because they signed up not knowing the mayhem and they weathered it.
They're troopers. They
They're troopers, yeah.
that's the
Okay.
reason why we call them happy campers because
Happy campers.
you gotta come in with a smile, you gotta leave with a smile.
Absolutely true. Now, the first one was Kevin Kennerk, your son.
Oh, yes. My
Yes.
son, Kevin.
And he is the magnificent computer dude.
Hmm.
He's the one who got it all started and figured it all out for us. And then the next one is Kyle, his twin brother. And I
Exactly.
believe when we did that, he was down in Huntsville, down there working. He was working in Huntsville, doing some welding in Huntsville when we did
Yeah,
that.
I think so. That sounds right. Yeah, whenever I hear for the people out there in the galaxy, Huntsville is where the penitentiary is.
Yeah.
So when you say Huntsville, I gotta think, was he in prison already? You know,
Already. Or in Huntsville, there must be a designation inside or outside.
exactly.
Huntsville out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then our next happy camper was a very charming young lady, Nishi Kromati, who is her story is absolutely fantastic because she was born in Flower Mound, and then she finished high school, got her cosmetology degree so she could cut hair, so she could support herself to go to college, and she wants to open up and she's on the path to having her own makeup line.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very nice lady. Really, really enjoyed knowing her.
Yeah, a real go-getter. Okay, and then we did our first remote happy camper with Indiana John when you were up there for the Notre Dame game.
Yes, Indiana John. He's a bit reluctant, but I sort of just tricked him into it, and then he got the gist of it. He
Yeah,
joined
there was a
in.
couple of moments he was leaning into the mic. Oh, I don't want to do this. But
Yeah.
by the way,
Yeah.
and then we did our pal Odie Oron. Remember Odie? You met him at the Flipper Walk, yes?
Mr. Taco.
Mr. Taco. He's a taco cat. He's a
Yeah.
taco cat. Yeah, yeah, we did him. And then we did a pal of yours who went to Indiana University, Brian Storer, and he's
Hmm.
my neighbor, and he's also a bike rider. So he did the little 500 on the
Little
bike.
500. That's a very big deal there on campus every spring.
Yeah, he's a big biker, and he's really a great guy. And then we did Robbie D, the lawyer and writer and photographer out of New York
Don't
City.
forget civil rights activists.
Yeah, civil rights activist. Yes, Robbie D. Yes, she's real serious. I'm really
Yeah.
happy she did something with us. She must have thought we were crazy.
I think she lost a bet with her husband. I could tell when people come on and it looks like they're apprehensive because either they lost a bet or they didn't know what they were saying when they agreed. So
And then they listen to us.
yeah,
And then we talked with your cousin Teresa Flores,
yes,
an
yes,
activist, also
activist, yes,
yeah. And then we talked to your brother Steve Kennerk up there in Lander, Wyoming.
Mountain Man Steve.
Mountain
Yep,
Man Steve, and he's still on the hunt for Wyoming Willie, the elusive elephant that's up
I
there.
know, I know. I haven't heard from him, so I hope he's okay.
It was out in the bush, probably tracking.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Steve. I'm talking about the Willie. I'm talking about the wild elephant.
Maybe he's lovesick for Gracie the giraffe.
Hey, you never can tell.
Yeah, yeah. And then we did a podcast with my pal Steven Siebold. He and I worked together in Dallas and numerous restaurants. And then we traveled together with three other guys to Europe. So we had a lot of stories with Steven Siebold. And then we did Keegan Leahy, who lives in, was it Winston-Salem? Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And
Yes,
he's in the a nice young guy starting out his career. uh, he sells aluminum door frames, aluminum for the door
the
frames.
screens. You got to put the screens in a frame.
Yeah, so he makes the frames and
Yeah,
he sells that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay. And then we did Karen Bella, the musician, very beautiful lady there
Very
up in
talented.
New York City, and very,
Hmm.
very talented and very informative of what she does for how she works in the music business because she's in Long Island. Oh, and she just played The Bitter End in Greenwich Village just 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. She mainly works out in Long Island, all the restaurants and piano bars and things like that, and
hmm.
nursing homes, and stays pretty busy. Does pretty well. But then she just played the bitter end in New York City, in the West Village. So, and then we have Maxine Haas. Remember, Maxine is
Oh
the
man, the popcorn queen.
popcorn queen. Yes, yes. So there you go. There's the billboard from our crack artist staff there, Archie Craftsy staff. There you go. So, and then we did Tim Sutter, our Aussie. He's a neighbor and he's from Australia. And I had to do the uh, Tim Tim Tam snorkels.
Okay,
Snork.
let me tell everybody in the galaxy what happened here.
Okay.
Doug the neighbor snorted a chocolate syrup drink through a cookie up his nose. Now, I didn't stutter. I didn't stutter. And so he said it was a lot of fun. They really enjoyed it. But I did notice soon after Douglas had a cold and he sneezed and a couple of Hershey kisses went out. But that's beside the point.
But I was wearing protective gear.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Your
Tim Tam
goggles, your
snorts.
gloves.
Tim Tam snorts. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then we did our podcast with a young man named Elliot Bell, who
Oh
is a
man.
neighbor here, and he's in the music business, and he works for C3 Management that puts together ACL, and he manages a band called Drop Tines and other bands.
Yeah. We
We did
gave him the
him.
nickname the Music Man.
Music Man, yes, and I believe his birthday is July 4th. I think,
Well, happy birthday.
and I think he's down to Corpus Christi to celebrate. So that sort of stuff. Now, our last and 16th uh, podcast or Happy Camper podcast was with a guy named Eric Thompson, who's out there in Washington State, and he is a puppeteer.
Oh,
He's always
yes.
been a
Yes.
puppeteer.
Very, very interesting guy.
Yeah,
He,
and the whole business of puppeteers. And so I was very inspired by his work as a puppeteer. So I gave it a shot. And say hello to Furry Murray. Okay.
Furry Murray. Hello, Furry
Furry,
Murray. How are you today?
Furry Murray. Yes, I'm doing okay. Thank you, TK. You look a little chubby there on the cheeks. Have you tried a little
Hey,
work?
I'm well fed. I haven't missed any meals lately.
Now he's got the green hair because he's partly Irish, and he's got orange teeth, but this is Furry Murray. Okay.
Well, I look forward to meeting him and getting to know him better.
I'm sure you will. Inspired by Eric Thompson of the Puppeteer. Puppet Hideaway is his website, correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this is Furry Murray, and you will see more of him and his adventures. He's going to have some popcorn here in just a second. So Furry Murray.
Well, Furry, be careful over there.
TK, we have been very fortunate to have these people become happy campers. We have more people that we have approached to be happy campers, and we hope they agree. And anybody in the galaxy who would like to be a happy camper, please contact us. Your story is gold. Everyone has a great story. Your story is gold. How you achieve things in life, how you did it, and it's a lesson to others who are still struggling or want to know, or just nosy, want to know how their neighbors are doing.
Mhm. Yes, it's always interesting when we talk with these people how they, at the first minute or two, they're a little uneasy. Of course, everybody's uneasy when they're around us,
Yes,
but but they start getting into the rhythm. They understand that this is not rocket science, and it's just some fun. And
yes.
we give them a mouthpiece.
And we give them a place to tell their story because their stories are gold at how they do it. Okay. TK, we've been very, very fortunate. This is podcast number 101, celebrating our 100th podcast, and we'll do more. I want to do more with you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Play
There's
ball.
Aaron Go Brawl.